their bass player came up to me and asked if I could replace him because he was moving.
For the group that Taube was in.
Yeah. This
what
was
was
like 71.
What was the name of their group?
Nikke.
Ah, okay.
So that's where, I mean, Torsten and me had hooked up before at Victoria, you know, drinking beer and smoking.
Yeah.
Cigars,
exactly.
and so we knew each other, and took off from there. We played in Nikke for till 74, 75, and then we started with National Theatre.
Okay.
And played with the theatre for till like 80, 81, and went straight into Taube's Blues Band.
Yeah. You know, I think one thing that I think a lot of people aren't aware of, that during your years playing in and with and around Taube's Blues Band, you've ended up backing up a lot of famous people, man. I mean, a huge fucking list of famous people.
Yeah.
If you were to think of like the top 10 or 15 or some of the most famous people that you've backed up or people you really dug.
We've done so much, but I mean the most famous ones of them must be like Ronnie Wood and Dr. John.
Yeah.
And Eddie Boyd, who wrote 5 Long Years.
Right.
We found him and dug him up.
Dug him up.
Yeah, sort of. Actually, I dug him up in the phone book playing Helsinki, Finland.
Okay.
Because there were rumors that he was living there. And sure he was.
Cool.
He was in the phone book. I called him up and asked him to come down to listen to us.
Cool.
And ended up, me and Torsten got invited to his home. He was married to Leila, the Finnish lady at the Finnish radio that took good care of him. And we ended up both recording and touring.
Sounds sweet.
And I mean, he's a true legend. He was the cousin of Muddy Waters, you know, one of the first electric blues guys. Even if he was playing the piano, he was in the Chicago blues boom before that.
So we consider your experience with him like one of your best music experience memories?
Yeah, it was sort of, you know, getting a receipt that we were talking the same shit, you know, and that we got accepted by him.
It was confirmation, big time.
Yeah, confirmation, yeah.
Cool. Well, that's good. That's good.
If we're good for him, you know, we're good for anybody.
Yeah.
They're just going down the road.
Yeah, man.
We're warriors, you know.
So anyway, you guys have played with Ron Woods and Dr. John, and the guy.
Plus a whole lot. I can't.
Yeah, it's just so many.
Yeah.
I guess it's a different. You know, you got sidemen and you got frontmen and you got bands.
Yeah.
And studio musicians, and sometimes a musician will do all of those things.
Yeah.
But mostly, I guess, what would you consider yourself in an all-around general job description?
Craftsman.
I'd buy that, because the 2 times you've helped me in the studio, you've been helping craft the songs, craft the sound, and you always seem like you're the Kapellmästaren, the band leader.
I wouldn't necessarily say that, but I love what I'm doing, you know, and I always try to give the most, you know, sort of, you know, depending on what shape I'm in, you know.
Yeah, you got to do what you can do.
But I give all my best, you know. Every time I'm in the studio or on the stage, you know, because that could be the perfect moment, the magical moment. You never know when it happens, you know. You have to be there.
Yeah, it helps
to make it happen, you know.
Well, that sounds good. It's all good.
I'm open.
So I guess you're just kind of stuck, Chuck. You're going to be doing this until the day you fall down dead, right?
Sure thing. There's no options.
Ain't no doubt about it. you is a musician.
Yeah.
Well, that's okay. Well, that's very cool. So, what are the plans for the moment? You got, must be about 30 bands you're playing with all the time?
Actually, it's 14 at the moment.
14, that's fucking amazing. Can you run it off down the list, or do you got to read them off, or what? Who do we got on this list? 14 bands. Anybody's ever heard of these bands?
Yes, there's some known and some unknown, some obscure things.
And what's about this group you got? You're in called the Beardos.
The Beard Ones.
Oh, the Beard Ones.
Instead of the Weird Ones, we all got beards.
Yeah, the Beard Ones, right?
Yeah, but that's just a spare time band, you know. We have we play old Chuck Berry, Eddie Cochran songs from the 50s.
Those are cool. So, getting down to the end of this interview, if you had to think, what is your worst music memory? Like, you know, some gig gone terribly bad, or anything.
The bummers.
Well, maybe there's a certain song on the radio that reminds you of something bad that happened in your life, whatever it might be. Your worst.
Oh, I've got a talent for forgetting the bad things.
Oh, that's a good talent.
I try to thrive on the good ones, you know, and for the good ones to come.
That's the best way to be.
I'm not sure what to.
Well, like for me, I can remember in the early '70s, I had a gig in Venice Beach at this place. It was like on the ocean front. I was playing the piano, and I'd taken some wicked drug. Some like PCP type drug, and they were calling it either cannabinol or elephant tranquilizer, some such nonsense. And I remember when I started the gig, it was just me playing piano, and then the next thing I knew, nobody's there. I'm waking up, I'm sleeping on the piano, because the piano's outside, and there's only a guy sweeping up there.
I had a few of those, I guess.
Yeah.
I fell asleep on stage one playing Sloppy Joe's with Taube's Blues Band. And we had this one-nighter hell tour, you know, playing the East Coast, the blues circuit of the East Coast in the States with Taube's Blues Band. Must have been like 82, 3 something. And we played 4 times 60 minutes every night.
In the same place, yeah?
In the same place, then move on to the next one, you know. And we ended up in Key West, Florida, and played Sloppy Joe's.
No wonder you fell asleep.
And in the middle, you know, in the middle of the second, third set or something, you know, I was worn out, so I sat down, leaning towards my speaker cabinet, playing the song. But in the middle of a song, I lost it. So and I went to sleep.
This is actually your 16th set for the evening. Or?
No, I mean, we did 4 sets a night.
At 4 different places, or 4 sets at one place?
4 sets at one place.
Okay.
And then move on to the next day.
Next day, okay, okay.
And and this must be like 2 weeks, 3 weeks into the tour or something, you know. I was overworked, overdrugged.
Yes. So. How do you feel you guys were received by them Americans over there with the music?
They, I mean, I'm sorry to say, but the U.S. audience is so ignorant. You know, they don't know shit about their own cultural history. Some of them thought we were playing original songs all the time. You know, and we were playing Howling Wolf, Sonny Boy Williams, and Muddy Waters. They just loved us, and that's also some kind of confirmation that it went up. We were accepted, you know.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's making that point, falling asleep on the stage, because me and Torsten fell in love with Key West at that point. So it was like 5, 10 years after this, we had this idea, me and Todd, about going on vacation and play.
Right.
Back and go to Key West. So we and I called him up on the phone, saying I'm Nikke Ström from the Taube's Blues Band, and would like to come play for you for a couple of weeks, you know, because the first time we were there, It was a one-nighter. They have one-nighters as well, but they also have 2-week stay with the same band.
Right.
So we want to come down and play for 2 weeks. And when I said, I'm Nikke Ström, bass player with the Taube Blues Band, oh, you're the guy that fell asleep on stage. And you were a good band.
And you were a good band.
So I made that was a good point on falling asleep. Then they remembered.
They really remembered.
I didn't have to introduce myself more.
So you guys got that gig then?
We got the gig for like 3 or 4 years.